Okay, this video is about what's shifting for you. So let's get into it and take a deep breath together. And I just ask that we're grounded, present, and open to receive messages. What are the first two cards coming out the deck for what's shifting? Wheel of Fortune, the Chariot. How fitting, right? To see the Wheel of Fortune come up. And, you know, immediately I was like, yeah, we're Sagittarius season. This is, there's some stuff going on. You know, we're in Mercury retrograde with a little bit of Sagittarius. We're in Scorpio right now, Mercury, but you know, there's other things going on that Sagittarius energy is opposing. It opposed Uranus, and most importantly, what we've had going on this last month or so is Jupiter and Cancer being an exalted position with Jupiter is how, like, what's shift. So all this is to say, right, this feels like good luck, but it's not like, oh, I'm just, you know, dumb luck, right? This is purposeful. This is something that is intentional, that you've almost in a sense like waited your turn, and you've been doing a lot of work. You've acknowledged shadow periods of light and dark through all of this, and your emotional sovereignty is really peeking through. And so your ability, if maybe you weren't as confident in sovereignty, or, you know, feeling like that was a characteristic that you had, I think you're shifting into that belief, that feeling, and really just not questioning the things that are happening, even like stuff that like feels like you know, not so great, right? There's the ability to find the purpose, the positive, and not in like a toxic bypassing kind of way, but in a way that you can use the heavier aspects of what is coming towards you, or what has been in your life, to use it wisely. So what do we need to know about this shift you're experiencing? The Lovers, Five of Wands, and Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Talking about Gemini and Uranus, right? Talking about the tension that oppositions create. And we've had a difficult Scorpio season, and I think it's, like I was saying, it's generational, because of how it's been interacting with Pluto being in Aquarius, and really just setting the tone for a certain amount of time. And so I feel like if we can, what the astrology is saying, what the cards are saying, if we can recognize these points of tension, maybe where we're not feeling harmonious, maybe where we're Five of Wands, I don't know if I said Five of Swords, but Five of Wands is what that is. And so if we're feeling like the lack of passion and creativity, and, you know, this is like creative blocks, and maybe just creating just to create, and it doesn't really feel like, you know, oddly enough, it kind of came in like an AI message, you know. Some things are just being generated and created just to see and experiment, and it's getting wild. And, you know, you have music coming out that I don't know how to get into it all, but the point is Uranus being this kind of like this point of technology and innovation, and experiencing it in Gemini, this quick sign that likes to dive deep into study and know a lot and connect. Opposing Sagittarius, it's a similar value system, right? They both want highly regard their values and what they research, and Sagittarius kind of shows us more dogmatic ways of going about things, and how, you know, they can be very resistant to anybody coming in and trying to change their beliefs. And so I think, like, on some level we can see that with AI and how it's generating and creating, but instead of using it as like the focal point, like AI is the creator, it's how can this be an assistant, how can this be a tool, because that's what it is. But instead it's like giving more power to something. So I think, you know, if you can relate that in your life some way, and how maybe you've shown things to, or given credit to things when it's really you that have worked through the tension and the lack of, you know, power, and how you've had to be independent and sovereign to create your own harmony. So that was kind of a bit, and I'm not sure if it all came out coherently, but I'm just gonna keep rolling with it, and you know, I hope you can find what works for you in there. So let's go ahead and get a close for this reading about the shifts that we're experiencing and anything else that we need to know about these shifts. Knight of Swords, the Chariot, and Five of Swords, right? So it's kind of funny, I was feeling Five of Swords, it comes out, Knight of Swords. I'm gonna get 2 cards too, just to get an extra closing. Seven of Swords, Nine of Wands, that's what's going on here. So true deception and envy and spiritual strength. I think a lot of this is saying, especially with the Chariot, to keep giving credit to yourself, keep building yourself up through these shifts, having that confidence and belief that you have the ideas to move forward, and you have the strength, you have the power. This isn't about holding back what you need to say anymore. If you feel like there's a lot coming at you when you bring up these new ideas, or if the things that you've worked through during Scorpio seasons, the things that you've kind of gone deep and decided like, hey, this is what I'm going to express, because this last Scorpio season was really about going to the depths to find those truths that need to come out. And so now Sagittarius season is like, we're ready for the truth. We're ready to express, because Sagittarius can be blunt and honest. And so it's being able to hold that space for yourself and belief that you can express these things, you can do these things, you have the strength, right? Don't discredit yourself. Take off any mask that you're wearing, and the people that resonate and understand what you're saying aren't going to give you the Five of Swords energy where they try to discredit you or undervalue what you're saying, or play off like, you know, what you're experiencing isn't unique or powerful in its own right. And so as you go through these changes, remember, just keep not necessarily positive, but just keep your strength, keep your power, and keep holding yourself up. Proud of you. Much love.